Ernie Redoña, Mr. Roger Mendez, Mr. Peter Awayan, Lito Balanon, Cecil Papa, Fede Luna. You've done a wonderful job. Thank you for spicing up this occasion today. And to the top 15 presenting teams from Asurion, Pricon, Toshiba, On Semiconductor, both Carmona and Tarlac facility, and ST Microelectronics. 20 participating companies, and of course our program partner, Pulse Integrated Technology Incorporated. The AQ&PC officers from ASEMEP also, and of course your wonderful officers and the participation of everybody. Good afternoon. You know, the theme of advancing global competitiveness through collaborative learning in quality and productivity, it's a mouthful. But then again, you know, the tracks from problem solving and continuous improvement and breakthrough innovations, you know, it's I guess a long surviving theme that we need in our industry. In fact, as most of you know, we just finished our roadmap called Product and Technology Holistic Strategy. It was funded by DTI and administered by DOST. And the intent really is to move up the value chain. As you know, we're still the biggest dollar export generator in the country. Some of you may not know it, but we're actually bigger than BPO. We're bigger than OFW remittances. Just to give you an idea, we came in at $32.7 billion last year, and BPO came in at about 28.5, and OFW remittances, somewhere close, 28 billion dollars. So, and you know, we don't want to rest on our laurels. We want to boost the level of exports, maybe reaching about $100 billion. You know, it's within reach by 2030 or thereabouts. Today, we employ about 350,000 direct workers. And if you apply the multiplier of 7, that's about 3 million Filipinos that benefit from the industry, and you're all part of that. So thank you for that. We account for about 23% of our country's GDP. And so, you know, whenever you're feeling low, whenever you're tired, just remember the kind of contribution you give to our country. Well, talking about our product and technology holistic strategy, like I said, it's very relevant to what you're doing because we're going to be looking at, so how do you move from 32.7 to $100 billion? Obviously, you won't be able to do that doing the same things over and over again. So we're looking at in different sectors, for example, in semiconductors, obviously we can't build wafer fabs here because of the high power cost and relatively poor quality. So we want to explore IC design. And in the areas, well, as you know, we also have 7 or 8 other sectors, including, for example, office equipment. We have 3 big printer manufacturers here, but none of them make 3D printers. We have, for example, the capability to produce collaborative robots. In consumer electronics, most of you probably have 2 smartphones, but we don't even make a smartphone here in the Philippines. Well, we do have a phone maker, but the phone isn't too smart. So these are, well, you know what I mean, right? I can't mention the name. Renewable energy, maybe smart batteries that would enable us to use solar and wind power 24/7 would certainly be helpful. And so all this, and of course, IoT-related devices, all these areas where we could play a niche in are all embedded in the product and technology holistic strategy. And we have several forthcoming trips, that would enable us to do technology transfers and maybe attract investments also. Next week, we're leaving for France, meet with the biggest French electronics company, and then we're also going to sign an MOU with the city of Angers and Angers French Technology. They're going to be, for the first time, exhibiting in our Philippine Semiconductor Electronics Convention exhibition. So we want to see what's out there. The second week of November, we're going to go with DOST and DTI to Israel. The theme would be exploring IoT and innovation technologies and products. And then in the second week of January, we're going to go to Silicon Valley, talk to Dado Banatao, talk to Greg Ryko, who used to run SunPower Philippines. And so basically, these are opportunities that we're going to be looking at, not only to promote investments, but to level up in our capabilities and looking at what niches we can do to boost our level to approach $100 billion. I think this year at a 6%, well, we targeted for 6%, but, you know, there are a lot of challenges, but we're still optimistic that we'll breach $35–36 billion in export level for 2018. Talk about challenges. As you know, as most of you have heard, the biggest one today that we're battling with is Train 2, otherwise known as the Trabaho Bill. When we were talking to Senator Bam Aquino, he said that's a very good name, that's appropriate name, you know, because that's what we're going to lose if the version that Congress passed pushes through. Why is that? You know, for one thing, we're going to be, you're not ASIPEX, but bear with me if I explain some of the negative features of this Trabaho Bill. Among other things, we're going to go from a 5% gross income tax after the income tax holiday to a proposed 18% net income tax. So from gross to income tax. To put it in perspective, our 5% GIE today is approximately equal to about 10% to 12% CIT. So 18% CIT translates to about 50 to 70% increase in your operating cost, our operating costs as an electronics industry. Another feature is when we go from GIE to CIT, basically, the companies, your companies, will be dealing directly with the LGUs. And you can imagine how wonderful that would be, especially for companies like ON Semiconductor with 3 different sites, 3 different cities, 3 different flavors of practices, 3 different levels of corruption. So it's a nightmare. And what other features? Oh, okay. While expansions are not automatic, they're not going to be granted incentives automatically. You have to prove that you're making a new product which is of a different shape. Well, that's smart. Obviously, you know, a smartphone may still look like the same smartphone, the case anyway, or a laptop has the same case, but the technology, the speed, the performance has way more advanced than what you have today. So I guess what we're saying is the industry is facing a big threat. This Train 2, as they say it, is easily going to be a train wreck, okay, if they pass it in the version that it is today. So that's what we're mostly busy with. There's also the federalism. There's also the, removing the contract labor, which is also going to be another nightmare. But I guess, why am I telling you this? The fact of the matter is, we need to continue being competitive in the global market. We play in the global market. We're not just supplying the Philippines, right? So regardless of what's happening around us, we need to be competitive. We need to be productive. We need to exceed the expectations of our parent companies, regardless of the noise, right? Because, our competitors today, the biggest competitor that I would consider is Vietnam. Their power cost is 40% lower, labor is 30% less, logistics cost is 10% less. So what do we have to offer? Well, I say this with all confidence because at one point in my career, before I retired, yes, I did retire. And, when I was running multiple operations in different countries, I could easily say that the productivity of Filipino workers is easily 20 to 30% better, okay? So that's what we have. The productivity of our workers, the ability to look at continuous improvement, innovation, breakthrough improvement. So that's why, what we've done today is quite important. It's very important because if you look at other operating costs, we're relatively high compared to our neighbors. And what's really saving us, is what you are practicing or what you are presenting today. So therefore, continue what you're doing. Leave the advocacy, leave the battle in Senate or Congress to us and your CEOs. But the best way you can contribute to our industry today is to continue with what you're doing in terms of quality and productivity. And so congratulations. With that, I will end. Thank you very much for being patient the whole day. And I'd like to thank the organizers, the judges, the officers. God bless you.
Yes. But before that, may we request Ms. Cecil Papa to represent our judges and give an overall feedback of this year's benchmarking convention.
Ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much to SAPI for inviting us to this prestigious event. So based on the collaborated efforts of judges, here are our feedback. And we separated it step by step based on 8 steps of problem solving. For the strong points first, for the problem identification, as you can see, all the projects have significant impact to the company, and they use data to prove it. On the investigation, the present conditions stratification method was used, the impact was identified, and there are some teams that showed clear basis for objective setting. Hindi kaya. Pakiclick na lang po. Hindi abot yung aking clicker eh. Ayaw niya gumana. Ayan po. For the isolation of root causes, they use the fishbone diagram, YY analysis, for M's and IE for the major categories. And for the solution formulation, the feasibility and selection of the proposed solution were made through the evaluation of alternatives. There were countermeasures and solutions directed towards elimination of the root causes. And the solutions were classified accordingly to its controllability. And we can see the efforts of the teams and the circles in formulating the solutions. Next, please. The implementation of countermeasures. The members' involvement of the project is very evident, and the projects are supported by superiors and other sections and departments. For the confirmation of results, comparison between the previous and current results was done, and results show trend of improvement. For the standardization, projects were standardized not only in the internal level, but also on the other levels. Reflection and future plan impact to the members of the project was presented and how it helped in their development. The strong and weak points are determined, and clear plan of activities in the future are presented. And other areas, strong points, the team circles are motivated by the past accomplishments. Work improvement programs are effectively implemented with the strong support of top management, and teams consider the judges' recommendation that resulted to clear message of improvement. So kitang-kita po na yung mga improvement na nagawa nila from the interview up to the presentation. For the points for improvement, for the problem identification, we just like to recommend that activity plan shall be used to guide the circle of each milestone. Thus, it should be made before the theme selection and update after each step. Kasi nababaliktad po, madalas, nagawa na yung project bago gagawa na activity plan. Basis of the existence of the problem shall be clearly specified and supported by data and other evidences, and always speak with data. Kasi pag data na po nilagay, no questions asked. To clearly visualize the condition of the situation that we want to convey, use of trend and distribution graphs is recommended. For the investigation of the present condition, stratify considering all possible classification areas such as 4Ms, conditions, time, etc. Kasi po, if you were not able to stratify correctly, pagdating po sa fishbone diagram, punong-puno po yun, and you need to go back again to QC step number 2. Conduct database process analysis. Tools used should be sufficient and appropriate. And problem statement should be completely specified based on 3 Ws and 1 H. and the extent of the problem. Problem should not be causal nor distinguished solution kasi minsan sa problem pa lang, yung sinasabing high rate of due to. So kita na agad yung distinguished solution doon dahil because of the word due to. Sometimes the stated problem is not clear. Nagiging two problems tuloy instead of one problem lang. Comparison of standard and actual must be shown in the graphs. It is very important to show the standards or the targets, especially when you say high occurrence of. So how can we say high or low if there is no standard? The next, for the isolation of root causes, it is best to use the YY approach up to at least 5th level. So don't stop kahit nasa 5th level na siya kung may susunod pang Y. Construction should be brief and easy to understand. Wala nang mahabang sentences pa. Causes should be stated as object plus defect. So there should be the negative on the object para dun sa root cause analysis. Basis for objective setting must be clearly presented and specified. Kahit sa initial problem, objective statement pa lang po, we need to have a clear basis why did you put such figure doon sa objective. Contribution of the true causes to the effect shall be quantified to determine the effect or contribution to the problem. Because during the validation, we cannot say that it is a true cause unless meron siyang contribution doon sa problem after the stratification. So that you can determine how much contribution does this true cause doon sa problema. Then the solution formulation, some of the real causes were not generated with several alternative solutions. Only one solution for each real causes. Ideal is at least 3 alternatives. Reason why we can say na parang may fit na siyang solution before yung parang solution na nilagyan ng problema or solution first before the problem. No? Recommended action should also address potential problems. It's very important to do the potential problem analysis. But potential problem analysis is designed by Kepner and Trigo. So hindi tayo pwedeng basta gumawa na lang ng basta-bastang format ng potential problem analysis because it is patented. Diba? Kaya dapat tama lang po lagi. Feedback from the frontliners or shop floor should be gathered and heard because they are the ones doing it and will implement the solution. Safety and workability should be considered. Also, its effect to the environment. So, it's very important that when you formulate the solution, yung safety, laging kasama siya. And also the effect in the environment, which we did not see doon po sa reports ninyo. Lagi lang quality, cost, parang ganun lang nakalagay siya. No more impact on the cost. For the solution formulation, appropriateness of the solution shall be by the following. So yan po dapat the parameters. The parameters, the criteria should be clear in formulating the solution. Hindi yung naging subjective kayo, kaya nakikitang may favorite solution na tayo. So you need to consider those parameters dun sa solution formulation. Next. For the implementation of countermeasures, potential problem analysis shall be done prior to solution implementation. Activity plan should be realistic and be made prior to countermeasure implementation. Coordination with other departments, suppliers, customers shall be with objective evidence or documented. Kasi it's very important, especially if we have design improvements, yung machine improvements or other improvements that need the approval ng mga in charge doon. So it's very important that it is documented. Preventive and contingent action shall be present. Evaluation of trial implementation shall be made and evidenced by data to prove its effectiveness. The confirmation of results, not all parameters are evaluated and compared. We are saying yung sabang apple-to-apple comparison. Kung ano po yung data that you have presented in the analysis of the current condition or QC step number 2, it should be evaluated in the confirmation of results. So yun ang magiging before, and then after the solution implementation, yun po yung after. Then some evaluation were done without adequate analysis of facts and data. Para na lang pong biglang, eto na lang siya, eto yung results. No? So it's very important na may ganon. For the standardization, standards should include maintenance aspect, prevention, contingency, and manuals if needed. Because the first level of standardization should be documentation. It should be inserted or incorporated in the procedures or quality manual. Especially, most of our companies now, ISO certified na kayo, di ba? And other legal requirements na kailangan. And the second level is deployment to applicable areas. So may dalawang, may dalawang levels. Implemented solution should not be confined in a limited area only, especially when it is applicable to other areas. However, PPA is needed. Kasi sa ibang areas nyo implement, so there must be, there can be problems to be encountered. Para sabi nga, ma-mistake proof. Standardization should be supported by training plan, procedures, and standards. Next, please. For the reflection and future plan, skills evaluation should be quantifiable and evaluation standards as basis of improvement shall be documented. Good points and points for improvement shall be reflected. Naalala ko may nag-question, no? Ano yung mga na-encounter nyong problems? Ano yung mga difficulties and hardships nyo? So it's very important to share it. Learning nyo yun eh. And then future plan shall reflect the challenges and motivation brought by the current project. So ano yung hindi naging effective now, yun po, that will form part of your future plan. Kaya nga po may schedule. Plan is, merong schedule. Hindi lang po kinikwento na gagawin ito. So using Gantt chart, no? Sana. And for the other areas, strive to create breakthrough and innovative projects. Use the 8 steps basic problem-solving steps. Learn to use other problem-solving tools, the basic and the advanced tools. Most especially sa cross-functional team. Kasi yung cross-functional team, we are expecting sa inyo na higher level of analysis because you are cross-functional eh. Wala nang uncontrollable items sa cross-functional team eh. Kasi mga experts na dapat yung nandun. No? And learn to use other problem-solving tools. Winning in competition brings prestige. But first and foremost, our objective of creating teams and circles is to create an efficient and enjoyable working environment and achieve our company's vision and mission. So that's all. I hope na bibigyan po kayo ng kopya. Ito po pala yung PDCA cycle na ginagamit natin for the 8 steps. And the next po, ayan po naman yun sa DMAIC. So as your guide. We will be giving you copies of this through SAPI office. So once again, maraming salamat po and I hope that you can be a member also of QCPA para maging dalawa, no? Yung magtutulungan for the improvement of our workplace. Because we Filipinos, tayo ang dapat mauna para sa pagpapaunlad ng bayang Pilipinas. Magandang hapon po at maraming salamat.
All right. So
Thank you so much, Miss Cecil.
Thank you
I
so
hope
much
everybody was able to take note.
yes, take the learnings, okay? Okay,
All
so
right. Now here is the most exciting part of the day. We are now down to our last 3 awards
last
for the
3
best
awards.
teams. All right. May we request again our officers and Dr. Dan on stage? Our
Excellence
next
Award.
award is Excellence for Breakthrough and Innovation Award. Project title: Improvised Automated Lot Preparation Table at Micromodule Test and Finish Line from ST Microelectronics Incorporated, Auto Reelers.
Auto Reelers.
Our team members will be receiving medals as well along with a plaque for the whole project.
Okay. So yung medals para sa team members.
Congratulations, Auto Reelers.
Thumbs up. Susunod, thumbs up.
Okay,
Thank you very
congratulations,
much,
Auto
Auto
Reelers.
Reelers.
Continuous Improvement Award.
So we would like to request the judges, please join our officers on stage.
Teams
Two
tonight.
teams, all right? First,
Okay. The first team to bag Excellence for Problem Solving Continuous Improvement Award is project title Family Blue Shadow Defect Elimination, Lord of the Blue Rings from Asurian Techlog Center, Philippines.
Lord of the Blue Rings.
Congratulations, Asurian TCP. They will also receive medals and a plaque for the whole project. Hooray! Congratulations, Asurian Techlog Philippines, Lord of the Blue Rings. Okay. For our next winner, to also back teams from ST Microelectronics, Handler Alarm Rejection on Epson Handler at QFN 3x3, Team QFN 3x3. Congratulations, back-to-back winner, ST Microelectronics. Congratulations to all the winning teams for tonight, and of course to everybody.
Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
Yes, it has been a pleasure hosting tonight's event. Once again,
Thank you, Faye.
thank you, Sir Ahad. And I hope you had a
See you
great day.
again.
See you again, of course.
See you again next time.